ऐगिरिनन्दिनि नन्दितमेदिनि विश्वविनोदी नन्दनुते गिरिवरविन्ध्यशिरोधिनिवासी विष्णुविलासी जिष्णुनुते ऐगिरिनन्दिनि नन्दितमेदिनि विश्वविनोदी नन्दनुते गिरिवरविन्ध्यशिरोधिनिवासी विष्णुविलासी जिष्णुनुते. When you say Carnatic, many people mistake it for Karnataka, the state, Karnatak music. So it is Carnatic. And the word Carnatic means that which is pleasant to hear. Karna Ataka. Karna is ears, Ataka, that which is pleasing to the ears. So India had a system of music called Shastriya Sangeet. So Shastriya Sangeet is the music that was there for more than 2000 years in India, and the roots of this music is found in the Samaved. The first mention of notes we have in the Samaved, we have what is known as Swarita and Uddata. And the first ragam that came about was called Karahara Priya. And it is Riga Ma Pada Ni Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Ri Sa. This is called Kafi Tat. In Kshamaji, you would know that. This is called Kafi Tat in the Hindustani. So these are the notes that featured a lot in Samaved. After Samaved, we have a lot of ragas that developed, and then later we have what is known as the Melakarta chart, and thousands of ragas came. Now, what is a raga? Carnatic music is a very scientific, very grammatic, very systematic form of classical music. When you say classical in the West, classical is associated with a time period, the classical age. But in India, the classical is associated with a system of music. And in the classical, this has ragas and thalas. Ragas are melodic structures with a certain amount of sounding to each scale. Each raga is more than a scale. It is characterized by a set of notes in a certain pattern that makes up a raga, a scale which develops into a raga, and a metric cycle known as thala, which has innumerable rhythmic cycles made up of permutation of combinations, and it starts with a combination of 3, 5, 7, 9 and multiples of these. Now later, after the Afghan, Mughal and other invasions that happened in India, the music that was Shastriya Sangeet underwent a slight change, and that became what is known as the Hindustani music, and that was practiced a lot in the courts and darbars. And the themes of Hindustani are more romantic, a little bhakti, but in Carnatic pretty much the bhakti movement happened, and a lot of the compositions are about spirituality, about the mind reaching the ultimate. So like I always say, we have the 3E formula for Carnatic music: entertainment, education and elevation, which is true in the Hindustani system of music also. Just that the themes, the approach, the system and the grammar of the music is different. And this music has survived, has changed in its presentation over the period of time. This music has a lot of compositions, that is the recreative aspect, and has a lot of improvisation, that is the creative aspect. The creative aspect is called the manodharma, and the recreative is characterized again by a lot of compositions from varnams, kritis, kirtanams, tilanas, javalis, padams, tirpugars, and so many such preconceived compositions which are recreated depending on the performer's style. See, if you take arts, be it sculpture, be it music, be it literature, anything, it is very deeply affected by what happens in society. Like you remember, people came up with ragas about COVID and corona type of compositions and all came. How did all that come? Because arts is a representation of society, of what people feel at that time. So if it is a bhakti moment, then the compositions is all about God.
Right.
If it is about it is in a court and it is a competition between two people, it is like Pallavi, and who we have people who are known by the raga names. And the arts has radiated and resonated with what happens in the society always. So the pangs of the people, when there was famine, Muthuswami Dikshitar created a raga, Amrita Varshini, he composed in it, Ananda Amrita Karshini. So it reflects that there was famine at that time and they didn't have rain. So many things about art, about music, it resonates with what is happening in the society. So if you take a piece of music and analyze it, you will be able to find out what happened in that society, what was the most popular thing in that society at that time. If you take music now, we do have electronic tanpuras, then we had I tanpuras. So you will know later, many years later, oh, they are using a iTanpura. So iPhone has come at that time. They are using the Radel electronic Tampura. So that is what the electronic version came at that time. Oh, they are using a keyboard. So by now, the Carnatic system has accepted keyboard in its. Oh, they are using this, they are using that. They are using tabla in a regular concert. So which means Jugalbandi has come in. So if you take a piece of music, it should resonate with what is happening in today's world. So Carnatic music as old as 2000 years and is as new as tomorrow. It has to resonate, and only if an art form resonates with what is happening in our society, it will be present and pertinent in what we are doing. I think pretty much because we come from a family where we've been musicians for the last 6 generations. I probably started learning when I was in my mother's womb, because she used to play the violin, and whatever Amma used to play, it kind of got in. She used to teach, she used to perform. And I started playing the Veena when I was 3. And yeah, pretty much my mother's is my first guru. And then my mother's elder sister, Srimati Padmavati Anantagopalanji, because she was the only Veena player in a family replete with violinists. So I learned from her, and alongside I also learned from the Veena virtuoso Dr. S. Balachandar sir. I didn't choose. At 3, what can you choose, Shilpa? You can't choose. I think it chose me. And Amma got me. She probably thought I was somehow drawn by it, and I thought the photo of Goddess Saraswati had Veena, and probably I thought that was the most authentic instrument to play. The Veena that is played in the south, the regular Veena, is called the Saraswati Veena. So whatever Veena we see, all the Veenas you see behind is the Saraswati Veena. And see, Vanyante iti Veena. Anything that can be played is called a Veena. So violin is called Dhanur Veena, Santur is called Shatatantri Veena, human body is called Sharira Veena, voice is called Gatra Veena. But if you take like this, the same picture, there is Mayura Veena with a peacock, there is Hamsa Veena with a swan head, and then there is Chitra Veena which does not have frets. It is played like a slide guitar. And then in the north we have the Vichitra Veena, and then we have the Rudra Veena. So there are several types of Veenas. The one that is prevalent in the south and is played a lot is called the Saraswati Veena. To support music, first of all, um, do not non-copyrighted stuff. When people, one thing that bothers me a lot is when people come to live concerts, and when they say switch off your recorders, people keep the recorders in their bag, they record it, they go upload it, and not good sound, not good lighting, these things are published outside and say, you know, I went to this concert, here's a clipping. And then people hear and judge, and they say, first thing is the intention of wanting to come to a live concert is gone, because anyway I'm going to get the recording. The other thing is, you hear it in a bad sound on a bad recorder, the complete experience is not there. So, and especially when we are on this US tours, no, what happens is Friday, Saturday, Sunday we will have concerts. Friday, let's just say you are in San Francisco. Saturday you are in Detroit. Sunday you are in Rochester. You are tired, you're jet lagged, and there's a time difference. By the time you reach Detroit from San Francisco, your recording has already reached. They say, oh, yesterday concert you played da 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 da. So today you're going to play something different, right? Look at it from a musician's point of view. So I think that is one thing. And second thing is judging the music. I think every musician who wants to create does something, comes up with something new. Some may work, some may not work, but all that is a part of a musician's journey. We should allow him or her to do something new. And if you say, oh, it's not good, he's not as good as he was before, you're discouraging him from doing something new. Then how will the boundaries of the art widen? So it's all a process of churning. So let's say I played, for instance, I can tell you, Hindolam is a ragam I used to play a lot when I was a kid. In my teens, I didn't play it for a long time, and it was bothering me. So when I was around 23 or 24, I said I'm going to do Hindolam in a concert. I felt such a great disconnect with that ragam suddenly. So but I have played some good Hindolam earlier. I was going through something. Then I came out of it, I gave some space, and then played Hindolam again. After a few years, I felt the connect. So the process of a musician is, the journey is a long and continuous one. Sometimes we hear something, I would have jammed with a rock player. I come back from that tour and try some of those stuff in my Carnatic concert. You just have to smile and say, okay, she's going on a trip. I would come out of it. But unless you give me that space and that leverage and not judge me and put me in a box, how will I grow? How can I come up with something new? So it's like you trying a dish, right? You went to a friend's house, you tried something, I'm going to come and try it. It may not come right the first time, but you try it and then you get it right. So take every piece of art, everything that a musician comes up with love, with joy, and say, okay, I think you're done trying this. Now what are you going to do now? And you motivate a musician to reach, stretch their boundaries and do something. And don't come with a preconceived notion that this is how this concert should sound. And if it sounds any different, say, well, So take it with a clear mind. That is what I would say. And for the kids, play music in the car from childhood. Get them used to the sound of this music. Let them appreciate it like a mother tongue, like not something, oh, that's dad's music, that's mom's music. It's not like that. Let us make it like a language that is spoken at home, our mother tongue, something that we are proud of. So they can pass it on. That's how you develop, nourish a system, a culture, a tradition, a legacy.
Shiru